Hi guys, and thank you for being interested in this tutorial that we will see and learn how to create color themes with Figma using Figma variables and create something like this one, okay, that I'm changing easy from light to dark. And actually we have a frame here which is applied with a dark theme, okay, with the values that we gave to the dark theme and the light theme. And you will see that when I'll grab this screen and just switch it to this frame, it will automatically change the colors to the dark mode. And if I will go back, it will do the same in the light mode. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's go into this file and see how to do that, which I took the screen that I used in the demo here and a bunch of components. It's not going to be something very long or very complicated, and let's see how to do that. Now, I think that I need to throw one word actually on what is actually a variable for the guys who are maybe less familiar with the term, or what is actually, or how to use variables and so on. So what is actually a variable? So instead of applying, let's say, a field, this hex value, this color value to the field of this button, so we will apply, so we are applying to it, working with variables, we're applying, let's say, a variable that we gave it a name, button field. And when we change modes that we create to each variable, so what happens is that we don't actually change the hex value directly on the field itself. The variable stays the same, but when we change the mode, so when we change, let's say, from light to dark, so we're gonna change the value that this variable is holding and will be applied to this one. In this case, of course, it will be applied the dark one. And if we change, let's say, to a blue mode, I'm just throwing something to the air here, so we change it like that, so now this variable is holding the blue mode. And if we copy this value and apply it to here, so this one will apply it here, so we will get this color. So this is basically how the variables work. I mean, kind of like the main idea of it. And of course, that before we used not before, still using global styles or color styles and so on. But what is the difference? I mean, here these components actually are binded to these styles, and of course that this one and this one and this one. So if we take actually this one and let's say change the color of it, I will edit the color of it, leave the name now, never mind, but I will change the color of it. So of course all the elements that are binded to the style will actually change the color. Okay, that's what we did with global styles, and that was and still is fantastic, and in a lot of cases it works great. But what happens if you want to create, as we did in the demo, as we showed in the demo, we want to create a different color theme, a different color mode to the screen. So that means that we will need to create a bunch of other global styles, duplicate the screen or duplicate our components, and physically, or make more variants and physically apply different color styles or different colors in general to them. Now, working with variables, what we can do, we can bind variables as I explained here, and we can add color modes, and just they will be changed as we change the modes and apply it to them. Yes, it kind of like sounded a bit like a salad what I said here, but yeah, let's see how it happens, and you will see that it's much more easier than you think. Okay, so let me just click here, local variables. Okay, and when you click here, this one is being opened. You can also click here and open the side menu of it, and let's rename this collection for themes. Okay, let's just call it themes, and that is good enough for us now. And here, by clicking, we will create our first variable. We will work in this tutorial with color variables. As you see, there are different types of variables like numbers, string, boolean for now, and I know that more variables will be added in the future, but now we will work with color. So when I click on this one, let me call that a primary color. Okay, we're working here with more of global names. Of course, that each team has its own naming conventions, or if you work with other clients or whoever you work with or create it just for yourself, so of course give them names which make sense, or names that actually you can work with, and don't give them specific names. I'm just suggesting, of course, I mean primary yellow light, because the whole idea is that this is a variable and this primary color here will be yellow, and we will create another mode, it will be a different color. So this name is already not correct to work with the variables. So now, just to make it easier, let me give it a primary color, and the primary color I'm going to give this one, the dark one, which is this is the color, so we will call this one the primary color. I'm gonna click here and select, let's call it a secondary color, which this secondary color I mean by this one, this kind of like light yellow. So we can actually take the sample from here, and we have our secondary color. And this one I'm gonna create, let's say let's call it a traitorry color. Actually, I don't like this name. It's a shitty name. I wanna call it, let's say let's call it I'm kind of like thinking to myself how to call it. Never mind. Let's call it a you know what? Let's call it a secondary color, or let's call it, you see I'm kind of like getting crazy with the names. Let's call it a not traitorry color, let's call it a, for now let's call it and okay, so you know what, tertiary color, let's go with that. It's a bit difficult, all these names. Tertiary color, so we'll go with this one. Okay, so we have, I mean, of course, again, as I said, as creating design systems and working with teams and see what the names that are best to call them, and the names that are most understandable and so on. So I'm just going to go easy now. So we have primary, secondary, tertiary color, and that's okay for now. And okay, so I'm gonna give, it's the same kind of like, it's the same color, but I mean, like, as you see, the primary button and the icons here and the text here are the same color. But the thing is that I sometimes, just to give myself more of like a control or different control on elements that I'm using, I don't want to give them the same variable to control all of them together, because sometimes I would want to give, let's say, the primary button, when it's in a dark color, I would want to give it a different color than just like the icons or other elements or the text or something. So sometimes, I want to give it kind of like a separate color. So let's kind of like create and I will call it primary button fill. Okay, and that will be the same as this one, and I want to give a primary button text. Okay, so the primary button text, let's give it let's leave it on white for now, that's okay. Primary button text, and we have just text, which now actually the text I'm referring to titles and paragraphs, but let's just call it text, and I will give it it's actually, it is the primary color. You know what, I'll just leave it with the primary color for now. Okay, I'm going to delete that. If I want to add it separately, I will. Okay, so I'm going to give also the icons. Yeah, I'm gonna give the or yeah, let's give it, yeah, icons. Okay, icons, that's good. Icons, that's good, and they are going to be for now. Okay, it's gonna be that. And or let's say I'm gonna give it icons stroke, and I'm gonna give another one. These are for the selected, which is the same color, but still I want to work kind of like a more, let's say, traditional icons border, sorry, icons fill. Yeah, and it is going to be the same like that. Okay, that's good, but it's kind of like much more understandable in this way. Now we have the chips, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, let's leave it not kind of like separated for now, and this one is going to be the tree color. Yeah, okay, that's good. I think that's good for now. If we need to add, okay, by the way, I do wanna give this one, this is, I called like this is kind of like an info text. An info text, I mean by let's say number of reviews, maybe a name of a reporter or stuff like that. It's kind of like info text. Of course, that when you go ahead, and each case to itself, as I always say, when you go ahead and do your design, so you can call it different names and so on. I just don't want to make it kind of like over complicated for now. Let me copy this color and put it here, and good. So I think that basically we're good to go, and if we missed something, we will change it as we go. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, good. So we created these colors, and now we need to apply them to these ones. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, so for example, if I take the chip, so as you see now I'm disconnecting it. So no, I don't have to disconnect them. Actually, I can still select them. You will see that now when I click here, so these are the styles, which are circles, and these ones are I mean the variables are squares. I mean they are rectangles. Okay, so I'm gonna give this one, actually I'm gonna change it to the secondary color. I mean you don't see any change to it because it's the same color, but I'm just applying variable to it now. And this one is going to be, of course, this one. And let's see, so we took care of this one. Here I'm gonna give it again the same. So as you see, by the way, sorry, forgot to say, when I am applying a variable, you will see here a rectangle instead of a circle, and you will see this capsule kind of like name, this capsuled name with the name of the variable and not the name of the color itself. And here we're gonna do the same. Okay, that's good. And oh, the text, actually, so the text is going to be the primary color, as we said. Yeah, this is kind of like no, you know what, we said we leave it now with the primary color. So let's see how it goes. I'm just thinking to myself, okay, if we need along the way, we will separate it, so we will see how it goes, if it's good enough for us. And oh, this one actually I'm gonna give, oh, I forgot to give a screen BG. Okay, the screen BG, by the way, you can drag it and put it up here. So the screen BG is going to be white for now. So this one is going to go with the screen BG. We gave the screen BG. By the way, these ones should be components as well. I just didn't give them, I didn't make them components, but yeah, let me kind of like select them, and yeah, let's change it to the primary color. Okay, so we did give them the primary color, which is this one. And yeah, they should be components, of course. And let's say, okay, this one actually we're gonna give, okay, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna stop the video. I'm gonna apply all the colors needed to all the other elements and get back to you guys, because I don't want to waste too much time on the tutorial. You already got and saw how I do that. Okay, be back. Okay, so I think that I'm done with all the colors that needed for our screen. And again, if I forgot something, I can always add, of course, so that's no big deal. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to duplicate the screen. Okay, I'm going to put another one here, and I'm going to call it, let's say, a dark screen. And now actually when this one is selected, by the way, I didn't apply actually, I think, oh, we do have the field, the screen background, okay. And here, by the way, I am going to apply, okay, we're going to create now our second mode. Okay, so by clicking on this plus, we're going to create our second mode. So this one, by the way, I'm going to call it light, and this one I will call it, if you guessed dark, well, you guessed right. Very simple. So the screen background on a dark mode. By the way, here what we're gonna do now is you can change actually and put it on dark. Okay, so this one you're not gonna see any change because we didn't apply any change to these colors yet. And this one I will give it the light. Okay, so now what we can do is quite easy, start changing the colors, and we will get the results and we'll see them right away. So on the dark mode, the screen background is going to be this. Okay, this dark color. So it already, as you see, as we change it, it's already being applied to the screen very quickly and easy. The primary color, I'm going to give it not a whole white, I'm going to give it the F2, 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 which is a very light gray, almost white, but not exactly white. So you see that everything that used the primary color immediately became this kind of like almost white color, which is pretty awesome. Okay, this one, by the way, yeah, I didn't give this one, of course I will bind it to a variable as well because I didn't make it a component. So let's bind it to the primary color, and this one we will bind to the primary color as well, and here it's gonna get, of course, this one. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And the chips, let's see what we're gonna do with the chips now. So basically not only the chips, but the chips are using, let's see what they are using. Okay, the chips are using the secondary and the tertiary color. Okay, so we're gonna do this, sorry, yes, yeah. Okay, so now the secondary color, let's see, give it a change and see exactly how it affects our screen. Okay, so we're gonna do something like that. Okay, which looks pretty good to me. And by the way, yeah, we can give it kind of like more of a yellowish gray. A little bit. Okay, that's good. And the border of it, which is using actually this one, so this is going to be, yeah, let's give it another kind of like lighted gray. It's going to be, yeah, a bit more yellow, I guess. Something like that. Yeah, that looks good to me. That's okay. I mean, you get the principle of it. Of course, in your designs you can just apply whatever you want. Let's give it a bit more of a yellowish thing. A bit. Okay, so we have it like that already, which is pretty good. And now we're gonna deal with the icons. Okay, so the icons which I applied, let me see. Okay, so these icons, let me see, oh, the icon stroke and the icons fill. Okay, good. Icon stroke and icons fill. So we're gonna change that. Yeah, icons stroke, we're gonna give it the F2, F2, F2. And that's, sorry, the icon fill, and the icon stroke is going to be the same thing. So as you see, no, sorry, I was mistaken. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I got mistaken. Okay, okay, cool. So now we have it here already. pretty cool. Now again, this one I guess looks pretty okay. Again, you can also separate kind of like indicating strokes and so on, so you can change that and have it your way. I'm just kind of like giving the example of how to do that. Now comes the button, the primary button, which the primary button actually okay, these ones doesn't go off very good. So by the way, yeah, on a dark mode, I would give the rating stars a different color, maybe keep them in yellow. So they do, as you see, it's good that they will be actually in a separate color here. So yeah, you need to kind of like separate them more, because I don't want it to be the same color as this one. It looks pretty weird. So that's not the that wasn't the meaning of it. And we go with the primary button field. So the primary button field, actually, I do want to make it something which is more close actually to this, but not exactly. I'm gonna give it kind of like something, yeah, something like that. And let's see, we have the primary button text. The primary button text actually can be this, which is good. Okay, good. So basically, I'm just saying that you pretty much got the hang of it, and that's pretty much it. I mean, except of a bit screwing up with these ones, of course, and as I said, you could just separate them and give them different color. So basically we kind of like have it, okay, we have this one actually. Let's see, this one, which one did we give it? We give it an icons BG, and this is the primary color, the text, sorry, the primary color and the icons BG. Okay, the primary color now became this one, so that's why we don't see these icons. So we need to we need to bind it with a different variable, which this one actually is going to be, oh, not this one, sorry, I meant this one. Okay, so we're gonna give it, let me see, that was this color, and now, oh, I know why. Actually, no, it's good, I just didn't give it the icons BG. I didn't change it actually to, let me see, yeah, that is the icons BG, which I forgot to change it here to, and now we're good. Okay, cool. So yeah, so now it's good. So I just, yeah, it could be kind of like a little bit confusing, but yeah, I guess that now we're kind of like complete, and it looks pretty good to me. And of course that even if we delete this one, okay, and now I will change it to the dark, so you see that everything changes already quickly, because again we have two screens and we gave them both, yeah, never mind the name of it, but anyway, we can change it easily, just jump between these themes, and we can, and that's it, it's done. And of course, it's just, it doesn't matter, in your designs you will decide better maybe about the exact colors and so on, but I guess that that's pretty much understandable. And the only thing which I do want you to keep in mind, that imagine that maybe sometimes people that will come into this file, it wouldn't be super obvious to them, and that is kind of like the minus in working with variables in this case. I mean, it wouldn't be super obvious for them to understand that we have more modes and colors to these components, because again, if they're not kind of like Figma supermans, they will not always, and it's not kind of like straightforward. And if I will go into the dev mode and I will select, let's say, this one, okay, so if I will click actually on the, let me see, or this one, yeah, open in playground. Okay, so I open it in playground. What I do have here, which is more right to call it maybe states, but anyway, I have the default and the selected. Okay, so I see them both, but practically speaking, I do not see that there are modes more modes, more color modes or theme modes or whatever modes you want to call it. So I don't see it here. So if I'm a developer, not kind of like super obvious that it's there. Okay, so I do suggest, let's say, that you can take, actually, let me switch this off. So if you want to be more straightforward, maybe even to developers and more guys on your team, so you can take these two, for example, or do kind of like two variants here, and let's say select this one and give it here, give it the dark mode. So you can yeah, sorry, no, that wasn't the meaning of it. So if you do that, actually, so if you give them the dark mode, you see, so you can actually kind of like maybe make it more obvious that actually there is a dark mode. And here, let me see, if we go into dev mode and we go to, let me see, oh, so we just give them, yeah, I didn't give them proper names to these variants, but anyway, make sure that it's pretty much understandable, just suggesting, okay, you can do whatever you want, of course. And yeah, I guess that should be pretty much it, and I think that that's pretty much understandable. And I hope that this tutorial was good and understandable, and of course that you can go with any theme, kind of like you can create another mode, blue mode, green mode, ever mode that you want to do, and just give it different colors, and then you can easily just change between them. Okay, so you, not only two modes, you can go as many modes as you want, and you can also change more things. We will do more tutorials about more things that you can work and change with variables. And yeah, I guess that that's pretty much it. I would be happy for your like. I would be very happy if you subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Thank you so much, and bye for now.